Hello, everyone. Welcome to episode 110 of Press Any Key. You can find us on all social media at pressanykey.tv. Go ahead and give this video a like and leave us a review on your podcast app of choice. Also, don't forget to join the conversation not only in our comment section, but in our Discord. All of that will be linked below. Time codes are below if you want to jump around. And I am your host, Pat Naparano. With me, as always, is my co-host, Nick McFly.
Hey.
And on the ones and twos, everyone give it up for Hey Gingy. She's here fresh off Twitch, everybody.
Fresh off the Twitch machine.
How we doing, Liz?
Chilling. How you guys doing?
Good.
Tired.
You're with that prednisone. That'll do that.
The prednisone isn't what making me tired. It's the antibiotics that make me tired.
You're taking your uppers and your downers.
Yeah, you know?
In this episode, we'll be discussing Pat's medication.
And to be fair, I was only awake last night for like an hour. I went to bed at probably like 1:30. I was asleep. I woke up at like 4. I pissed.
And you had to get your fix.
And then I went back to bed at 5, right? And then I was up again
At 6:30.
6:30. Okay, yes. And then I went back to bed at 8:30, woke up at 10:45, and then I went to rehearsal. So
Okay,
taking
so
sleep in shifts because you
this
got to
is-
watch the doors and windows.
this is my POV at 6:30 this morning. But imagine I have a blanket. This is bullshit. Ugh.
I don't like being awake. I want to I haven't had a full 8 hours of sleep, and I can't tell you how long.
Sounds like a problem.
I've been looking into Lunesta.
Tell us more about
Lunesta. They don't sell a pill that keeps you asleep. They sell the pill that's half and
Puts
half.
you to sleep.
Puts you to sleep and then keeps you to sleep. It's like I don't have a problem falling asleep. I have a problem staying
What you got to
asleep.
do is an hour after you go to sleep, Liz has got to stick the pill in your mouth.
I mean, I'll just choke on it. I will definitely wake up from that. Maybe a liquid version. I don't know.
Yeah.
Welcome to Big Pharma.
Yeah. We're sponsored by Big Pharma.
That's right. Okay. Anyway, Redfall. So,
Yes.
Nicholas, you like video games, right?
I do.
How much do you like video games?
Not as much as you.
Okay, fair enough.
That's for sure.
I know that you don't care enough about things such as high fidelity graphics or high frame rates.
I care when there are low fidelity, but anything like once you start getting into Ks, 4K and shit, I'm like, that doesn't make a difference for me.
Okay, all right.
Give me 1080p and that's fine.
That's technically 1K.
Yeah, okay. I'll take 1K and that's fine.
You said that like you just pulled up to the fucking resolution fast food place. Yeah, I'll take a 1K.
I'll take a 1K with the side of 420p.
420p. I'll only take half of a resolution. So
That's on top of the 1K.
So whatever. So Redfall is Xbox's new premier first-person shooter that's coming out in believe it's May 2nd, and it's from Arcane Studios, which if you're not familiar with games like Dishonored, Dishonored 2, what was that time loop? Deathloop, that's the one.
So this is a game that Mike would play.
Yes, absolutely. I think Danny likes these too. God rest his soul. But so the issue is that it was released recently in a press release stating that Arcane reveals that only quality mode will be available when the game releases on May 2nd. A 60 FPS performance option is coming at an unspecified date, but until it does, here's how the game will run depending on your hardware. For the Xbox Series X, which is that big black beast over there.
The Wi-Fi box.
Yeah, the Wi-Fi box, the router, the fridge. That will run at 4K 30 FPS. And for the Xbox Series S, it'll run at 1440p 30 FPS. Now, those are native resolutions, and last generation 30 FPS would not be outlandish. However, the problem that we have here is that this hardware was sold to everybody who bought it on the promise that you're getting 4K at 60 FPS. And on top of that, they have even introduced the idea of some of their more exclusive titles running at 120 FPS at 4K.
Is that even necessary?
I mean, if you're playing like a competitive shooter like
That's
Halo,
true.
the more frames, the better. And then if you're doing speed runs too, there's also some stuff with frames that help the game's actually moving like a percentage faster or something. You know what I mean?
Fuck those sweaties.
Okay. All right. Calm down.
I'm looking at you. Fuck you.
We got nothing against speedrunners here. It's all
No,
him.
speedrunners, but competitive. Shooting.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
You know
the
what?
tryhards, you mean?
I played Rainbow Six Siege for like 1 year during COVID, and I've been just brutalized by little teenagers, and they could suck a dick.
Yeah. Well, okay. So the whole hang up here is that although that these machines are capable of doing this, it's more or less is, do these developers want to utilize that technology, or do they want to, make a release date and put out a game within their calendar year so they can make some profit?
Gee, let me think. Which option will they
if
choose?
I was a greedy corporation, which one would it be? Now, this same conversation was around when Arkham Knights apparently was coming to the next. It just won't leave. It just won't.
You remember when that game was gonna come out?
Yeah. No, it came out. It's Suicide Squad.
Oh, I was thinking of Kill the Justice League. Sorry, that other game that sucks ass.
So Gotham Knights came out on the next gen consoles, only in a 30 FPS mode. I want to remind everyone that although 30 FPS is not preferable, it doesn't mean the game is inherently bad.
Yeah.
We've had a lot of amazing games. We had a whole generation of amazing games before this generation that was in 30 FPS. And that includes games like not the first God of War, but God of War 2018 and Red Dead Redemption 2.
Yeah.
Both games locked at 30 FPS when they came out.
Tangent. Played a little bit of Red Dead Redemption 2 this weekend.
What'd you play it on?
PS4.
Okay.
Yeah.
Was that it?
That's the whole
That's
tangent.
not really a tangent.
Just saying.
Okay.
It's a game that's been sitting next to my PlayStation for years, and I played a little bit of it.
Oh, good. I'm glad.
Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe I'll get to God of War.
Actually, can you bring that back? Because
If you want, yeah.
just haven't played
I
it
told
yet.
I told you I was.
Well, I
gonna play.
figured if I put it in front of your face, maybe you'd be like, "Oh, I'll try it out," and then you get sucked
And then
into
we got
it.
the forest.
Yeah. So these,
And the Hogwarts Legacy came
these
out.
things happen.
Yeah. It'll be
So-
there when I need it.
Seems like if you have a gaming PC, that's going to be the way to go because this is coming out in Game Pass, and I won't be able to try it out the day that it comes out because I'll be in tech. But as soon as May 6th is, or as soon as the show is passed, I'm definitely going to fire this up and try it out for myself. There's also some controversy surrounding some gameplay that was out recently. Look, the guy who did the gameplay for IGN, he sucked. He didn't know how to play the game. That's all there is to it.
People thought it was the gameplay was bad, but the guy playing just sucked.
It wasn't the gameplay itself. It was the guy. It was whoever captured the footage.
Oh.
Was not actively engaging with the mechanics and the systems that were available in the game. So they were not showcasing much of what you could or could not do. 60 or 30 FPS didn't matter at that point because they weren't cutting it.
He's just looking at the settings menu.
How do I make this worse? So, yeah, I mean, listen, this whole thing is just a to quote Van Jones, it's a nothing burger. You're going to play the game whether it's 30 FPS or 60 FPS, and they're going to patch in that performance mode. They just don't know when. That being said, it does goes against a lot of everything that Xbox said during the release and build up to this game, but it's also not new. Like, Xbox has been striking out every single time they have had a big exclusive release.
Like what?
First of all, Halo.
Oh, yeah.
Halo was
dude.
really big when it came out, and then it just kind of fell
like
off.
A couple days.
No. I mean, we played that game for months, especially with especially on PC. But
I didn't hear anybody talking about it after it was released.
Well, that's the problem exactly. Is that they did not add maps, they did not add game modes, they did not add anything past that. You know what I mean? Yeah. And people did not How hard was it to get custom games to fucking work? The cornerstone of what Halo multiplayer is built off of. Then they've had to push back other games such as Starfield. Starfield was supposed to be out last year. It's now supposedly coming out the end of this year, but we saw gameplay from that too, and that looked rough. We haven't heard a fucking single thing about Hellblade 2, Senua's I hear voices.
Oh yeah.
And it rolls off the tongue.
Sure.
And then it's just been like every single one of Xbox's exclusive. It's just weird how they stumble and they fumble right out of the fucking gate, and they can never find their footing. Like, I don't understand how they have what I would consider the best ecosystem in gaming between console hardware and your PC, and being able to like play those titles anywhere or fire them up or like play cloud service or whatever. And yet, as far as their games are concerned, they just can't get it together.
I'm glad you said that, because I was thinking PlayStation has the exclusives, Xbox has the ecosystem.
Imagine if they came together.
Imagine.
And they had this amazing router fridge looking machine.
Yeah.
All right.
A curved fridge.
Do those exist?
I don't know. Maybe they will.
We should make one.
Yeah.
You know how to make a fridge?
I got a basic idea.
Okay, we can figure it out. We just gotta keep stuff cold, right?
Yeah, it's a box with a door.
Yeah,
and
all
some
right.
ice in there.
Oh, perfect. All right,
you go.
We got it. Liz, you want to help us make a fridge?
I'd love to help you guys make a fridge.
We're making a fridge. All
That'll
right.
be our game night episode. It's just us building a fridge.
Do you guys know where to hook up the compressor? All right. So, the Marvels.
Looks good.
We had a trailer for the Marvels drop. Directed by Nia DaCosta, who is coming off of Candyman from 2021. She also
Did you see that?
Yes, I did.
Was it good?
It's great. I thought you did see it.
I didn't see it.
Oh, it's awesome. You should watch it.
I'll come back to that one for sure. That's Yaya, right?
Yaya is in that.
Right.
It's also written by Jordan Peele. There is some.
How did they slip that by me?
They didn't. It's a Monkey Paw production. Like,
I didn't know you wrote it.
Yeah. There is some conflicting reports that he might have done a little bit of the directing on set as well. Now, I don't want to believe that he's that type of person, like the Steven Spielberg, like Toby Hooper situation or Poltergeist, where he was just like, just give me that.
Just
and like,
let me do it.
Yeah. But his influence is all over that
For
movie.
sure.
So yeah, so now after that, she's been bumped up for a big summer blockbuster, The Marvels. And so this stars Brie Larson, Tiana Paris, Iman Vellani, and Nick Fury. And we do have
Nick Fury.
Nick
Rounding
Fury.
out the cast.
Samuel Jackson. I just realized now I really did write down Nick Fury. So plot synopsis. Carol Danvers, a.k.a. Captain Marvel, has reclaimed her identity from the tyrannical Kree and taken revenge on the Supreme Intelligence. But unintended consequences see Carol shouldering the burden of a destabilized universe. Well, you created a power vacuum. You did that yourself.
Same thing that happened in the Middle East.
And another thing, now, when her duties send her to an anomalous wormhole?
Anomalous?
Anomalous, there we go, wormhole, linked to a Kree revolutionary, her powers become entangled with that of Jersey City superfan Kamala Khan, a.k.a. Miss Marvel, and Carol's estranged niece, Captain Monica Rambeau. Together, this unlikely trio must team up and learn to work in concert to save the universe as the Marvels.
This is a sequel to Bill and Ted. They got to put on a concert to save the world.
Yep. So,
it looked good. It looked like fun.
I was talking about how it looks more colorful
Yeah.
than some of the stuff we've been seeing. Also,
More colorful than Ant-Man.
yes, which was kind of just like yellow, I guess.
Yeah.
Yellow everywhere.
Yellows and browns.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, all right. So the other thing is that, like, I know this movie got delayed a couple times, and I think obviously they got delayed for a couple of reasons. One, because of the pandemic. Two, because of the shooting schedules and everything. But more specifically, the most recent delay, because this was supposed to be a July release. So
Makes sense.
Marvel was going to have a May or like an end of June release. So it was going to have a May and June, and that was never going to work with their fiscal calendar year. They need something in the last quarter of the year. So obviously they pushed this one back, but also the rumor is it's specifically for special effects. Or visual effects rather, that they want to give the artists as much time as they possibly can.
What a
have.
concept.
Well, that's, they fired, what's her name? Victoria Alonso.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
She was like the HBIC over there, and
Yeah.
she was basically getting projects out the door, which was her job, but she was making certain cuts. That's not why she got fired.
Cutting corners.
That's not why she got fired, but because those projects are still making money, and ultimately that's all that matters. I like the tone of this a little bit more from the trailer. Seems like a little bit more lighthearted. It doesn't really feel like we're focusing on any one particular character. You're focusing on all three of them.
Ensemble piece.
Yeah, and how they interact with each other. Man, it's going to be rough for them to get around the dad. The dad is.
Did anything ever come about that?
Is he not a sex offender now?
I know there were rumors. We're gonna say allegedly there were some allegations, but he's in the movie. It's, you know what I mean. Like, it's not like they cut him out or anything. He's in the trailer.
Yeah. Here we go. So, from December 9th, 2022, Miss Marvel star accused of sexually harassing and grooming a minor.
They totally could have wrote that headline better, where it doesn't seem like it's the lead. What's her name? Iman?
Yeah. They definitely could.
Miss Marvel star, the dad.
So yeah, and that's the other thing is like a lot of people on this thread are like a star, more like supporting actor. Yeah. So, but
he also was the best part of the show.
Yeah,
too. He was great.
But yeah, so getting around him is navigating those waters. I mean, hey, if they did it with Bill Murray, they'll get around this guy. Well, he's accused a little bit worse than Bill Murray, but I'm not gonna play the who did worse game. Yeah. The one thing that I'm really intrigued to see is how this whole every time they use their powers, they swap places type of vibe. How is that gonna work with action set pieces?
I think it'd be great.
You know what I mean? Like, is someone gonna throw a punch and then they'll accidentally turn on their powers and then they'll hit somebody else in the face, or like
when they're all in the same scene together?
Yeah, like
that'll be interesting.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Someone also mentioned that Monica Rambeau needs to stop touching ominous things and accidentally getting superpowers from them.
She didn't touch things. She walked through, right?
No, she got hit with the force. Oh well, yeah.
She walked through. Yeah. Radio static.
Yeah, I guess that's anything. Touching it. I mean, it's
it's touching her.
Okay. Are you touching me or am I touching you?
You're touching me.
Okay. So yeah, now she touches this wormhole and then all this shit happens. Yeah. Nick Fury, it's good to see him back. It's been a while since we've seen him on the big screen. He's coming back this August, actually, in Secret Invasion.
Yeah.
And
did you watch that trailer?
No.
No? I watched
the only reason I watched that show is because of Emilia Clarke. That's it.
You know, like Ben Mendelsohn?
Is he in it?
Isn't he? I thought he was.
Last appearance, Nick Fury's last appearance on the big screen in the MCU was 2019.
I thought you said this was going to be it.
No, it was 2019's Far From Home. So it's been a while since we've seen him on the big screen. Remember, they kept him out of the two Avengers
Far From
movies.
Home. So that's when he was like in the cave talking to Globehead. What the fuck is his name?
I have no idea what you're saying.
Help! I'm Jake Gyllenhaal.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. Mysterio.
Thank you.
Yeah, when he was in the Spider-Man movie, you could have led with that.
Yes. Ben Mendelsohn is.
Thank you,
Secret
Liz.
Invasion.
Okay, I did not know that. Okay. Yeah.
He's a great actor. They're bringing the cat back, the Flurkin.
Oh, what's the cat's name? Goose.
Yeah.
Goose. I'll tell you what, that's one thing I didn't like about the last Captain Marvel movie.
I think that's a big gripe that a lot of people had. I was in a subreddit where people were talking about this trailer, and people feel like it really cheapened Nick Fury as a character. The fact that that's what it was.
There's two amazing things said in Winter Soldier. The first one is, the last time I trusted someone, I lost an eye. And it's like, oh, I wonder what happened there. And then the other one
could have been really cool character development.
He said something about, if there's one thing I've learned about this job is that you have to be looking with both eyes open. And like when he opens his eye, it's all fucked up and everything. Yeah. But like,
it's like white.
It's whatever retinal scanner he needs to like deprogram whatever. And now it's just like, damn, you fucking ruined both those moments by like, I guess it's a cat scratching your eye. Yeah, but yeah, it's a flirkin type of thing. Yeah. But it's good that they brought Goose back because I did. You know, I'm a cat person.
There's a cat. We're in a cat household.
Yes,
we're in a cat house.
So
on HBO,
we like to call it the Cat Castle.
Castle. All right, Double D's Cat Castle.
So scale of 1 to 10, how excited are you to see this?
Not because of the movie or the trailer or anything, just because Marvel in general. I would put this at maybe a 5 or a 6. How excited I am, because I'm just not really looking forward to Marvel properties right now.
What about Guardians of the Galaxy 3?
I can't wait to stop seeing that trailer in front of other movies. So I'm ready to see that because I want to be done with it.
It does look very good though. I feel like there's always one per year at this point that's really the showstopper. I think that's gonna be the one.
I don't want to
solely because
I don't want to grill you on that, but if you can just throw out some titles, like what are the one of the year?
Okay, so 2020 would be Shang-Chi, 2021 would be No Way Home, 2022 would be Black Panther.
Okay, that's fair.
You know,
I thought Shang-Chi was just okay, but I'll take it. It was.
I think
compared to everything else that came out, it was light years.
Wait, was Shang-Chi 2020? No. That was the same year as Spider-Man.
Yeah.
So.
Well, see.
Oh shit.
Sorry, Shang-Chi. You're
Okay,
out.
yeah. So then it's just No Way Home and Black Panther, which out of the slew that we've gotten.
And Ant-Man Quantumania.
Okay, we're done. All right. So
did you see on the leaks and rumors subreddit that casting has begun for Jonathan Majors' replacement?
yeah, but
Just a rumor, but
okay. So they talked. Okay, now that you're bringing this up, they talked about this on John Campea,
Yeah.
and specifically they brought up the fact that one article by one website said that Disney is the first thing is that without absolute there is no God, my brain is just not working. I'm so tired. There is
Gotta get
no
off the drugs,
there
All those
is no
antibiotics.
disagreement here. Disney and Marvel are absolutely discussing this actively and watching this as it unfolds.
yeah, watching it play
And
out.
discussing their options. That's 100% true. They have not made a decision yet, though.
I think they really fucked up by
Betting it all on this sociopath, yeah,
I was gonna say could be argued.
yeah.
But the fact that every single Kang variant looks exactly the same, whereas you have variants of Peter Parker and it's Tobey Maguire and Tom Hiddleston. The fuck is his name?
Andrew
Holland?
Garfield.
I almost said Thomas Middleditch too. Tom Holland. And then every single Kang is Jonathan Majors. It's like, have a bunch of actors play Kang.
So I think
most of them could be Jonathan
so
Majors. But
the only thing we know for a fact is that they are watching this, they are discussing this, they are absolutely talking with his team, like at all times, wanting to know what the update is, what's going on in the legal process. The other two, the uncertainties here are: is this something he's going to be exonerated from, and they can just move forward like nothing happened? And then the other thing I read specifically was that they're going to replace him after Loki season 2, and that just isn't true. That decision hasn't been made yet. They don't know what they're going to do.
it's just interesting to see them watching it in real time, and
As we watch it, yeah. I mean, but also at the same time, like, what were they going to do? You know what I mean? Listen, they have all the money and political influence in the world, but that will never
not in Florida.
that will never repair his public image, even right now. If it comes out, I mean, first of all, the text messages that they put out, like that were supposed to exonerate him, arguably made it worse. Because I'm not sure if you're familiar.
I didn't look at him.
It was basically like, "I'm sorry that I made you hit me," is basically what it said. Is number one, which means
you made me hit you.
Well, put it like this, Nick. Say you pissed me off so much that I just walloped you one, and before you fell to the floor, I caught you and was like, "Oh, see how crazy you make me, baby. I just love you so much." That is straight up. That is the worst type of abuse. Like, and that's basically what that said.
Right.
So that arguably made it worse. And number two, like I said, even at this stage, even if there was some fucking evidence that came out that completely exonerated him, Twitter's already made up
Public
their mind.
opinion. Yeah.
Exactly. And not only that, there is other actors, there are other directors that have come out that have said that they have worked with him in the Juilliard community, the Broadway community, the New York theater scene at large with him previously, and that he has a reputation like this. So, like, allegedly. But I'm just saying that, like, if you really want to get into it, I think Disney should just cut their fucking losses at this point and just get somebody else.
It's early enough where they could do it.
It really is, I mean, like, they'd have to
just make it a fucking branching timeline, an alternate, like we already did the TVA.
Not even.
Shit.
You don't even got to do that. Everybody knows. Just be like, yeah. Oh well, shit
Pull
happens.
a Terrence Howard on it.
Get Terrence Howard back.
I've been seeing a lot of that speculation to have Terrence Howard play Kang.
Now that
that's what
Ike
the people
Perlmutter
want.
is gone, like, yeah,
Yeah.
why not? So yeah, I don't know, that shit is all
How about we
fucked
get
up.
Terrence Howard? We get the fuck is his name? I'm so old.
Denzel,
Not Denzel. The original Hulk.
Eric Bana,
Not Eric Bana. The next one.
Edward Norton.
Edward Norton. We'll get all like actors who were in other iterations to play all different variations of Kang.
Okay, what?
That's what I think.
Okay,
That
all
would
right.
be my.
Disney, you can't steal this idea.
No, they can.
But
Here you
pay
go.
us
They just
for
gotta
it.
pay us. Yeah.
All right. So you know what's funny? Actually, now that you bring that up,
Getting paid.
yeah, getting paid must be nice.
Yeah.
And have it not be from the state. So I was talking to my buddy who's a screenwriter, and apparently, if you wrote a treatment for like whatever Star Wars movie and you sent it to Disney, they would either do one of two things. They would immediately incinerate it, or they would put it in a certified envelope, which means like it's a felony if you open it, and they would send it right back to you because they don't even want to be accused of
Right.
potentially stealing your idea. So like the whole idea that they're going around there skulking out ideas on the internet is just absolutely
I think there's
ridiculous.
a difference between like a script treatment and putting, like an idea online. You can't claim like, oh, well, I came up with the idea for this.
J.J. Abrams did confirm in 2015 that someone actually guessed the title of Star Wars Episode 7 a year before they went into production on an IMD form.
Yeah.
Yeah. He was like, damn, they fucking really got it. Like, all right. So, speaking of not getting it, HBO is back, Nick.
Oh boy.
Well, not actually.
HBO is gone.
It's actually just Max now. So, Warner Brothers Discovery unveiled their new streaming service, which is going to be a combination of the content that's currently on HBO Max and that is on Discovery Plus, and they're going to merge the two together. So, the pricing keeps Max in line with HBO Max and at the top end of the entertainment streaming spectrum, which is fine. That's whatever. It's still cheaper than Netflix. A price hike several months ago by HBO Max made it the most expensive streaming service among major streamers. Turns out I was wrong. The new set of plans will just keep it ahead of Netflix's most popular plan, which now costs $15.49.
So
but
it's
we
50
pay more
cent
than
different.
that, right?
No, we don't, because we have Max and Netflix bundled into our Xfinity plan. So with like our cable bill, we just get HBO, and then we pay $4 a month for Netflix.
Yeah, but we pay to have HBO on the plan. Like that costs the same amount as HBO Max.
Yeah, sure, probably.
No, that's
It's
not
free.
a probably.
It's just
It's
one
an
bill.
inevitability. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's just the money's going somewhere else.
Yeah, you don't have separate
So-
bills.
So does this mean I can cancel Discovery Plus?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Nice.
you can.
All right. So
What do you watch on Discovery Plus?
Yellow Jackets?
I don't
No,
even know what that is.
that's on
Nope.
Discovery.
Nope, that's on Paramount.
Yeah.
What am I watching on Discovery? Maybe I don't pay for Discovery. I
Should
don't
have
know.
canceled long ago.
Paramount Plus was good for one thing: Sonic Adventure 2, or no, just not Adventure. Either way,
Paramount, I've watched every single season except for one of RuPaul's Drag Race and RuPaul's Drag Race All Stars. So I got my money's worth there.
Okay.
That was my COVID project.
So the top end plan gives 4K functionality and up to 4 congruent logins, both increasingly popular options for discerning streaming consumers. The plans are as follows, Nicholas. You ready?
You got your ad light.
That's right. The Max Ad Lite for $9.99 a month or $100 a year.
I like how every tier, rather than calling it like basic, premium, deluxe, they're like ad light, ad regular, ad free. It's like that's the least enticing way to describe.
You
your...
see how it's slowly becoming the television model, though, right?
Yeah.
Like this is how cable started.
That's the thing is like there's so many people who've been saying for years it's like it's just turning back into cable, but streaming is ultimately always going to be better than cable because it's on demand. I don't care if we go back to cable,
But you're the
it's
guy
on
who's
demand.
asking for a channel that's always playing something
Right.
on the streaming services.
But on cable, you're never. I mean, there is on demand on cable, but I mean, like when you're with basic television, It's just you get to watch whatever's on.
Yeah.
I don't care if it's everything. I have to pay one large monthly fee to get Netflix, HBO, Discovery, all the different streaming services under one roof and one interface. Fine, as long as I get to pick what I'm watching at all times. My idea for have the live channel, that's just for when you can't decide. But when I want to decide, I want to decide.
Okay, fair enough. So then the second plan is max ad free, which is $15.99 a month or $150 a year for 2 congruent streams. That is the same as what we have
Basic
right now.
HBO Max.
And then max ultimate ad free is $20 a month or $200 a year for 4 congruent streams, and also adds the 4K functionality. So that is definitely what I mean. I wish they added the 4K without the 4. I don't need 4 congruent streams.
Right.
2 is fine. And even then, I don't think we'd ever use 2. But having the 4K I feel like is important to me because I got nothing but 4K
Too many
TVs.
K. Too many K for
Oh
me.
yeah, that's right. Yeah.
I'm fine with
I'll
one.
take 1K.
I mean, 2K is fine. It's
So,
4.
What the fuck are you
What
doing?
am I, a king?
So existing HBO Max subscribers will have access to Max at the same price and will still have access to their current plan features for at least 6 months following Max's launch.
What?
HBO Max subscribers' settings, watch history, continue watching, and My List functions will also migrate so viewers can pick up streaming right where they left off. Max, which Warner Brothers Discovery is calling Max, the one to watch, launches May 23rd. It will house the HBO originals, Warner Brothers films, Max originals, the DC universe, the Wizarding World of Harry Potter, kids content, Discovery content across food, home, reality, lifestyle, and documentaries from HGTV, Food Network, Discovery Channel, TLC, and ID. It will feature an average of more than 40 new titles and seasons every month. So, are you ready for this, though?
I'm
still just processing everything you just said. That was a lot.
It's a lot of content.
Oh my god.
I'm going
Wait,
in
what
my
about my
context.
Studio Ghibli movies? Those are all housed on HBO Max.
They'll still be on Max.
This brand signals an important change to narrower products, HBO Max and Discovery Plus, to our broader content offering and consumer proposition. While each product offered something for some people, Max will have broad array of quality choices for everybody. Also ticked off the list of changes that drive Max's engagement, including a simpler user interface, a new content navigation button, and a curation of top brands and genre hubs. I can't wait to see how they fuck that up. Other enhancements for advertisers will help monetize the content. For most users, the HBO Max app will automatically update to the new Max app. Some may need to be prompted to download the Max app.
I'm going to tell you right now, PlayStation 4, you're going to need to download that.
So I think what's also really funny about this is that Zaslav also has a... Actually, hold on. I'll save this until we get it. So we all admit how fucking dumb it is that they're dropping the HBO out of this, right?
I'm torn because my gut reaction is this is the worst idea. This is the worst thing they could have done because HBO is a trusted brand in film and television. People trust HBO. It means high quality content. It means fucking Game of Thrones. It means The Sopranos. It means all these things that people like.
Right.
But at the same time, I don't think that anybody who loves HBO is going to go away. And I do think that this is going to trick people who are dumb enough, to be turned off by HBO. That's just, violence and nudity and this, they'll be tricked into now subscribing for the service that has all that stuff on there, but because it doesn't say HBO, they won't realize.
Yes, you are absolutely correct. And now here's the thing. The tagline, all right, listen.
The one to watch.
Oh no. There's one that's worse. It's called Max, the place to watch HBO. So they're still trying to incorporate HBO because they know how the fuck did these marketing and advertising people, like how hard is it? How hard is it? HBO is not just the most popular name in television. It is the most premium and luxury brand of television. We
Right.
talked about this last week with the titties and the dongs.
Titties and dongs.
This is the top, the echelon of television. Like, if you were to say HBO, it's understood that that show is at bare minimum gonna be good. Not mid, not okay, good. Like, it will at least carry an audience.
This is another sign of the plot of Idiocracy happening. This is the dumbing down
Yes.
of, this is like when the guy goes to the movie to see that 2-hour long movie called Fart.
Yeah.
It's like people don't want high quality content. They want easy, dumb, accessible content.
Yeah. Well, okay.
The one to watch,
The
Max.
place to watch HBO. So here's the other thing that made me almost fall out of my chair when I read it. Zaslav said that this rebranding will bring Warner Brothers Discovery, quote, closer to their rendezvous with destiny.
This guy is smoking something.
What's your destiny? Abject failure? Like, this is the worst idea you could have had.
I would love to.
I
see
don't
this
mind
be
them-
a big failure.
I
but
don't mind them combining the content. You know, that's whatever. But like, you should have just added the Discovery content to HBO Max.
But see, that's the problem. Is it's clear that the Discovery content cheapens HBO, right? So what I would do is one of these bundle type things where, you know, it's like, oh, if you get Hulu, you also get, you know, whatever they have,
Yeah.
like Flickr or Shudder or one of those things. You get the NFL or NBA. When you get HBO, you subscribe to HBO, you also get Discovery.
Yeah, well,
And
that's the thing.
maybe
They don't
you-
want to split the audience. They want to pad the stats for investors, though. It's like, look, we put all this together, and now instead of having 100 million subs here and 100 million here, we have 200 million on our one service altogether. We're now the third biggest
But
guy
see-
in town.
But
You know?
like, to Nick's argument, like, Disney Plus is just Disney's name, but you get Disney, you get ESPN, you get Nat Geo.
Well, that's exactly what I'm saying. Is that like they can just add a Discovery tag that you can just click
they
on,
should-
and there's the Discovery
I don't know why
content.
they just don't do
But
that.
but here's with the Disney thing, it's different because all of those other brands, to some degree, fall within the idea of Disney. They feel like Disney properties. The farthest you get is like Marvel is violent, but
Nat Geo.
yeah, I mean it's like, you know,
it's learning.
Something
it's
bit me.
it's worthwhile. It's wholesome content. People like Disney. Parents like Disney because they can. It's an app for their kids to use. Nat Geo is great for kids. They can learn. I remember watching a lot of like Animal Planet and shit growing up. That's perfect.
That's Discovery.
Whatever, you know what I mean.
Okay.
Stuff like that. It's good for kids. Whereas Discovery is 100% at odds with what HBO is.
Yes,
So if you
I would
put
agree
a
with that.
Discovery tag in there and there's fucking Honey Boo Boo on your HBO, it cheapens the brand.
No, I don't disagree with that. Yeah. I don't know. I just
This
think
is all
it's a
Danny's
dumb-
fault.
It really is.
I
It's
just went
his
in,
idea.
for the record, I went into my contacts when we started having this conversation, and I gave Danny a nickname, and it's just Max. So when he calls me, it's going to come up as Max.
All right. So you want to hear about some of the things that they announced for this
I'd rather
streaming
not,
service?
but I know you're going to tell
Yeah,
me.
yeah. We're not going to go through all of them, but I'm going to go through the biggest ones. Number one, the rumors are true. The Harry Potter TV show is
We
on
called it.
the way. Harry Potter is being rebooted as a TV show with an all-new cast. The show is set to be a 10-year project and will explore the books in more detail than the films, which abandon certain plot points and threads for timing. J.K. Rowling will also serve as executive producer. I don't need to tell you the shitstorm that caused.
Well, the thing to keep in mind, too, is executive producer doesn't really mean a whole lot as far as...
That the
Right?
title of producer could mean many
It
things.
could, yeah. So
But
what I'm
in
saying
this
is, it's like,
specific instance,
for anybody who's listening and doesn't know the industry, executive producer doesn't mean that JK is going to be like calling the shots necessarily.
yeah, I mean I specifically with her, it is, you know, she was an executive producer on the films too, in the
Right.
sense that she controlled basically all the creative choices down to casting. She's in that position here as well
Right.
too. she will have final say on a few things. I'm not going to say
She
that she's not going to be
had
fought
creative
on
say on like Hogwarts Legacy.
Yeah, no. She wasn't involved with Hogwarts Legacy
Right.
at all. It was her management company that worked with Avalanche Games,
Right.
but she did not have any hands-on relation to that.
Gotcha.
The thing is here is that her whole role in this is to preserve the creative integrity of her stories. So this way they don't deviate too far from what her original intention was.
She did such a great
And
job with Fantastic Beasts.
Hey, listen, fair. I mean, those weren't from her original books, but my point is,
Yeah, but I mean, they took the property and strayed away from the integrity of the original content.
Specifically in this instance, though, you think of things like The Witcher, where
That's a great example.
where they strayed away from the books so far that
they flat out said, we don't give a fuck about those books.
Exactly, and they drove their lead actor away. Apparently they wanted him out sooner than season 3, but so either way, there's Big Bang Theory spinoff. Nick, I know you're a big fan of the Big Bang Theory.
You keep your fucking mouth shut.
It's from Chuck Lorre, so at least it's from the series creator.
Oh boy.
Liz, I know you like this Game of Thrones prequel, A Knight of Seven Kingdoms, The Hedge Knight.
Amazing. I want to also say I like Big Bang Theory.
That's very brave
Okay,
of you
cool.
to say,
Thank you.
Liz.
So based on George R.R. Martin's still not finished novella series Dunk and Egg, the show will be set 100 years before the
What's it
events.
called?
Dunk and Egg.
Oh, I thought you
Dunkin'
said
Eggs.
Duncan. Like there's a guy named Duncan Egg.
The show will be set 100 years before the events of Game of Thrones and will follow a young, courageous knight and his diminutive squire as they venture across Westeros. Martin himself,
The Squire's Egg, I'm assuming.
yeah,
Okay.
the Martin himself will write the show along with Ira Parker, who works on House of the Dragon.
All right, I'm down with that.
Now this one I'm actually pretty excited for. There's a Conjuring TV show coming.
Ooh.
Popular horror franchise is coming to TV and is being developed by Peter Safran. Not much is known about the project other than it would continue the story based on the films. Director James Wan is not currently attached to be involved, though, which is fine. Though Safran's, he's okay, he's got it.
And it's not like James, like he's already established the world and the vibe. He doesn't have to be hands on.
So then, here was the big one. The Penguin trailer dropped.
Oh, I didn't watch
So Gotham City meets The Sopranos. That's what the Batman spinoff is being described as. It's starring Colin Farrell as the titular crime boss. The show will chart the gangsters' rise to power in Gotham. So it takes place before Batman Part 2. So this is like a bridge series.
Gotcha. Yeah, it's because there's a power vacuum.
That's right. Middle East.
And Falcone's gone. There's
That's
a power
right.
vacuum.
Taliban's gone.
The Taliban.
So
And here comes Kada.
the trailer debuted with a very dark aesthetic, similar to Reeves' film from last year, which is good because that's exactly what we want. This is written by Matt Reeves. It's also being produced by him. And the only other cast member of note is Clancy Brown.
Oh, all right.
So Mr.
Always love to
Krabs.
see Clancy Brown. I'm surprised that Colin Farrell signed up to be put in this makeup for however many days it took to make this fucking TV show.
Well, there's no specific count on episodes or like if this is going to be multiple seasons or anything, but we'll
doing a movie versus a TV
show is a lot more work.
Holy shit! He's been like, how many hours do you spend getting
At
makeup?
least 3 or 4, as I do.
No. In total,
Oh, dude, cumulatively,
how many days
that's a
of his
paycheck.
life
Yeah,
did he
exactly.
spend in his chair?
It's like when Mike described like scrolling on your phone. You spent how many
Yeah,
years of your life?
How much that hurt
yeah,
us.
I was like, fuck. So, there was only a couple scenes, because they're early on in production. There's only a couple of scenes that they showed of Colin Farrell shooting a guy, driving a car, and then a lot of the stuff was actually inserts from the movie itself. So it's not like they showed us a lot. It's not even worth bringing up right now. But I am excited for it because I like the creative team behind it. There's another True Detective season coming out, True Detective
Ooh.
Nighty Country.
I did like True Detective.
This
The
one
first couple
stars
seasons were
Jodie
good.
Foster. And the trailer is unveiled as setting in Alaska where 8 men disappear without a trace. Like classic True Detective. And then the rest of it is all like,
What was that one?
what?
This one?
There's
No,
the Regime with Kate
not
Winslet.
that one.
Gremlins, The Secret of Mogwai trailer.
Didn't realize this was going to be animated.
One of the kids, the animated Gremlin show from the 1920s China will follow a young Gizmo long before the events of the classic film in the 80s.
Gizmo was around in the fucking 20s?
I guess so.
What's this?
Peter and the Wolf.
Why is
something
Bono
from
given a
because
pile?
it's based on original artwork and illustrations from U2 frontman Bono. Now listen, you know how I feel about Bono and U2.
Use your airplane music.
Fuck 'em. And yeah, there's lots of reality shows, but those are the most notable ones coming. I don't think we really missed anything big. It's just like the other than the Kate Winslet one was another one that was another big one. But yeah, I'm excited for all this stuff that they have coming out.
Not excited for the branding.
I'm not excited for the branding. I am very curious to know how the audience retention is going to be. I mean, no doubt that Harry Potter one, it's going to move heaven and earth. That's what's going to pull everybody in.
Yeah.
Without a doubt.
Well, that's a long way out.
You think?
A couple of years?
I would say 2025.
It's a couple of years from now.
It's only a year and a half.
You're saying January 2025.
Okay,
so,
yeah.
So 6 months into 2025 is 2 years from now.
Okay, fair enough. Do you think when do you see this being? Fall, summer?
I would say that's the earliest.
I would say it would definitely summer because of kids.
No. I would say think about the movies.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it's different, but I always get like the Christmas vibes from the this is a holiday.
Yeah, but those movies didn't come out during Christmas.
Well, movies, they're blockbusters, but it's a TV show. Everybody's going to be home for the holidays and shit. Got to get Max.
But I'm thinking
the kids are home for Christmas break. I think that's my call.
I'm thinking
Liz?
summer.
Pat, you go. I'll wait.
Oh, okay. I'm thinking summer because the prime slot for HBO is Sundays at 9 p.m. And if you got school the next day and you're trying to sell this show to a bunch of Harry Potter heads that got to get up at 6 a.m. for the bus next day, I don't think it's going to happen.
What if they just don't do Sundays?
I think it would be I don't even know if that's a possibility. Like
Fridays?
I said, Sundays at 9 is primetime television, and that's where Game of Thrones was every summer for how many years.
True.
So if this is what they're going to push as their next Game of Thrones, then I don't see why it wouldn't be Sundays at 9.
You think it's going to be the next Game of Thrones?
Absolutely. I think it would do numbers collusive. I think it'll listen.
I just don't think it's going to be positioned the same as Game of Thrones.
The thing with Game of Thrones that a lot of people need to remember is that Game of Thrones did not start out ginormous.
Right.
Game of Thrones ramped up to that because around the third or fourth season,
they ramped up and then fell right off the cliff.
When they started just axing off main characters every other week. And that's when people really caught on. And that's not to discredit the storytelling or the source material or anything, or especially the cinematography and all that stuff. But they built it up over a number of years. So I don't think that this is going to start out smashing records, but if it's consistently good, I think over time it's gonna draw in more and more viewers.
Although there were books, Game of Thrones was not a known quantity. It wasn't in the zeitgeist. Harry Potter, the new series, from the get-go, episode 1, this thing's going to be huge, like astronomical numbers, I think.
Okay, hopefully. I want to see all 10 seasons.
Oh, I switched the laptop. Whoops. I think I agree it's probably going to be Sundays at like 8 or 9.
Sundays.
We're going to have Sunday fundies. I could see it being summer, but I could also see it being fall in like the same retrospect that like everyone's home. Like, people aren't like heading out on vacation all summer. People got nothing better to do than sit in front of their TV on Sunday nights. Like, also, I think, Nick, to your point, I think this will have a better start than Game of Thrones did. One, because it's an already established property, but because we didn't really have streaming when Game of Thrones started.
Yeah.
On demand definitely became more of a thing.
I watched the first season of Game of Thrones on demand, just to be clear. But
Yeah,
there was no streaming service.
It was not ubiquitous.
Yeah.
So did I. So I watched all of Game of Thrones on demand, except for when I could watch it live. But I just think now that you have the option to say, okay, like you could have watched it on demand, but now more people are going to have access to HBO.
Max,
I'm so sorry. It's probably just going to do better
did
in that
this.
in that regard. It's like there's just more access to it right now, and I think already because it's established, it's gonna. I don't know if it'll do as well as like maybe season like 7 or 8 of Game of Thrones. Not saying season 8 was good. I'm just saying numbers wise, it didn't do too bad.
How long are the seasons for something like Game of Thrones?
10 episodes, 1 hour each. Like they were strictly
Unless you're the
60
final
minutes.
season and then there are only 8 episodes.
What?
We don't,
Oh,
we don't
shit,
talk
I
about
gotta-
it. Okay.
I'm going to make a point, Liz, while he walks away.
Okay.
I think it'd be interesting to see if they were to stretch it out, do shorter episodes, and stretch them out to like 20 to 22 episodes per season, and really give like chapters per book. You know what I mean? Like actually match the pacing of the book chapters, and really stretch it out. I mean, that'd be crazy if you had people tuning in for 20 weeks in a row.
Yeah. No, I get that. I would actually maybe go in the opposite vein and do 1.5 hour long episodes. I love a good 1.5 hour long episode.
Sure.
Like Last of Us, episode 3, that was what, 80 minutes? Something like that. Like that was perfect, especially on a Sunday night. Like it's nice, like you're sitting down, because I feel like movies themselves have just gotten to the point where like an 1.5 hour movie is short. So like what's an 1.5 hour TV
True.
episode? And that
But
way,
I think mentally the difference is when people go to the movie theaters, they're expecting to spend hour, 2 hours, 3 hours. When you're sitting on your couch, even for me, I would rather watch a bunch of half-hour long episodes back to back than say,
really,
I'm going to put on a 2.5 hour movie.
that's
I don't
wild.
know.
Like,
It's something, you know.
see, I've just gotten to the point where like, to me, a 45-minute episode of like Ted Lasso every week, I'm like, if I'm enjoying it, I want 1.5 hours.
Sure.
Or like I want 30 minutes, but the ability to binge watch.
Sure.
But like with us going back to the cable route where we're getting weekly releases, I'd rather have a longer episode if I do have to
That's
wait a
true.
week in between.
Yeah, if they're gonna make you wait and not release them in a binging, a binging opportunity, you're probably right. Longer episodes make more sense.
If they put out 3 half-hour episodes on Sunday, and you can watch one on Sunday, one on Tuesday, one on Friday night,
sprinkle
spread
them
'em
in
out,
through your week. Yeah.
so that'd be fine. But I don't know. No, I think I'd rather have like 1.5 hours of Harry Potter every Sunday for 8 to 10 weeks than 20 weeks.
I mean, I've made this point before, but I just feel like 8 to 10 episodes is not enough for me. I'm used to watching sitcoms, and the seasons being 22 episodes long. And obviously it's different. You're watching HBO, it's prestige television versus bite size,
Well, we don't know anymore. Who knows what, like, if they're coming out with new shows under Max.
That's true.
All
I mean,
the HGTV shows are
endless.
HGTV are like half-hour little snippets. I mean, how long can you watch somebody pick out a house in Hawaii? So I don't know. I mean, apparently very long. I think HGTV fans are relentless, and they've been around for a while.
I mean, they have to be. If these shows are still around, they have to have a rabid fan base.
They do. People love their farmhouse and their shiplap. But I don't know.
Yeah, we're going to take a little bit of a break here in the studio, and we'll be back in a few minutes. For you, it'll be instantaneous.
All right. So this week, our main topic, we saw Renfield in the cinemas, and it's a good time.
What format did you see it in?
We saw it in regular whatever
They
because
weren't
there was
showing
no
it in
premium formats.
That was
now.
interesting. I was surprised it was just digital.
I was not surprised by that.
Every movie that we've gone to in the last 2 years, there's been at least one other option.
Maybe.
Like closed caption included.
Oh,
Like,
yeah. I guess
this
if
is
you're going to
just
go that
one
nitty-gritty,
theater digital.
So just before we get started, I want to give you some box office numbers because these are actually
Some spooky numbers.
Yeah. Thursday night preview. Normally you hear about these and how big these numbers are. This only made $900,000 on Thursday night previews.
Give us the budget first.
65 million.
Okay.
The domestic total over the weekend was 7.7 million.
Oof.
And international was another 2.2 million. So it just did around a little bit more than 10 million
That's
for the entire
rough.
weekend. Yeah, this is a bomb. This is gonna be a bomb, one of the biggest ones of the year, which is sad because the last the Nicolas Cage movie from last year was also one of the biggest bombs of the year. I'm Pedro Pascal.
Help! I'm Pedro Pascal.
I'm Nick Cage playing
unbearable
Nick Cage.
weight of a lot of talent or something like that. So
Being
worldwide,
John Malkovich.
yes. So worldwide, this only made about a little bit more than 10 million, and I think that's a shame because I actually like this. I think it was. I think I heard someone say that sometimes not enough is just enough at the movies. And you want to know what? My expectations were set for this movie. I was like, it's only 90 minutes long. Mm-hmm. It's directed by Chris McKay. It's written by Robert Kirkman.
I was shocked to see Robert Kirkman and Ryan Ridley.
Yes.
I'm like, nobody promoted that. Like, that's a selling point to some audiences.
And
let's get people in these seats.
Nicholas Hoult, Nick Cage, Awkwafina, and Ben Schwartz are the 4 main players. And you want to know what? I think the worst part about this movie is the story. I think the performances are great. I think the action scenes are absolutely unbelievable. Like a lot of oh my God moments. Like, cause I wasn't expecting that. You know what I mean? I thought Awkwafina was way less annoying in this than she was in Shang-Chi. Like in this, she was actually reserved. Oh, you don't think so?
Well, I don't want to derail you, but for me, her character in Shang-Chi was the irresponsible friend. Mm-hmm. So Awkwafina being annoying made sense. And it was in this one, she's a cop and is trying to, avenge her father. And I'm like, this character, Awkwafina, makes no sense. She has no business playing this character.
Yeah. I thought Nick Cage was great. As a matter of fact, I think Nick Cage's greatest scene in the movie is when he is just speaking. And we'll get to that a little bit later. And then, hey, man, Ben Schwartz, he finally got on the screen. He's not just voicing Sonic anymore, you know? So I think the strongest part of this film are the performances and the characterization and the actual interplay between those two elements. I think the story is the weakest part of this. And that's, oh, God damn it. I told you. That is because, that's because my notifications got turned back on when I went out there. And that is because I think there's one plot line in this movie that overtakes everything else by the end of it that absolutely could have not. It should not have been in the movie. I don't think. You know what I mean?
I don't know which one you're talking about, but okay.
The mother, and the crime syndicate shit. I think that could have been removed in general, but we'll get into that in spoilers.
Yeah, we'll get into it.
But yeah, I mean, like I watched the movie. There was actually some funny moments that we didn't laugh out loud, but I thought were generally funny. I liked the fact that it was in New Orleans. You know,
it didn't feel like New Orleans.
You don't think so?
It didn't. The only time that it felt like New Orleans was that one bar.
The beignets.
Well, I mean, even that place didn't feel like New Orleans. There one bar with like the voodoo neon head.
Yeah,
felt like the only time they even attempted to make it feel like it was New Orleans.
The place where they have the coffee in the morning and they're outside on the water and everything, that is like a staple of New Orleans. I've been there. That's where I
was just there a couple months ago.
The beignets, we've been over this. How that place has a sign for milk. They have white milk or brown milk. It's not just milk and chocolate milk. What's in the white milk, Nick?
You don't want to know.
You kept leaning into me during the movie, and he goes, white milk and brown milk. And I'm like, please stop. Please get away from me.
Also, this movie had a very nice needle drop moment with My Chemical Romance, which I appreciated.
Oh, yeah. Once again, second week in a row, Pat and I being the only ones enjoying something in a movie.
Yep, everyone else. That being said, a lot of vampire women in our theater. There was a couple seats down from us. And they're
talking about goth chicks.
No, there's a difference. There's goth chicks.
Oh, this is like the South Park joke.
These are straight up. They turned into bats and flew out. At the end of the
Let's
show.
be clear. There was 2 other like weeb couples, which like I'm part weed.
2 other, so that includes you guys.
No,
Okay.
no. And then there was 3 people sitting by themselves. So there was
Yeah.
3 couples and 3 or 4 people that were just alone. Also, it was like 5 p.m. on a Thursday.
I saw it this afternoon at 3 o'clock, and I checked like the 9 a.m., the 12 o'clock, the 3 o'clock, and the 5 o'clock. Each theater, each showing had like 5 or 6 people max. Very dead.
Yeah, but I kind of felt bad. I thought it was like I've been enjoying movies that feel inconsequential lately, so like I really enjoyed this.
That's a good way to put it. It is inconsequential. It's you go to a matinee, you save 30% at AMC. It's a fun afternoon. Was it a great movie? Not at all. Was it a good way to spend an hour and a half? Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. It was one of those things where it's like I don't feel like I lost anything.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, so what'd you think of the main story there, Nicholas?
I really, like you said, the story wasn't great, but I think the idea of taking the, like Dracula and his servant and putting it in the framework of a relationship and a toxic relationship, very clever, very fun to explore it, like, relationship drama through this lens.
Yes.
Cool.
What did you think of the what's it called? What did you think of Nicolas Cage's performance as Dracula?
There was, I think he was great. He was always on. I thought it was weird that they spent so much of the movie him being in like his not full power phase. And I'm like, let him ham it up. We need more Nicolas Cage ham.
But when it got there, it was good.
When it got there, and then
I thought he was hamming it up even when he was all fucked up too.
Yeah, but I mean, like, even still, they spent so much time with Nicholas Hoult on his own.
He's great too.
He was great.
I like him. I
but
really
I mean,
do.
like, milk the shit out of. Give me some
if you
white
got Nick
milk
Cage.
of Nicolas Cage.
Nicholas Hoult is the brown milk.
Yeah.
Nick Cage is the white
Both
milk.
are good,
Yeah.
but white. Yeah. What?
Go ahead. Say
I was gonna say the white milk is more useful in other situations. Like making cereal or a smoothie or something. But I guess you could also do that with chocolate milk.
Yeah.
There was a point towards the end where they started putting effects on Nick Cage's voice, like giving him like more like power.
Yeah.
His voice had like a reverb and delay and shit on it. I would have liked that a little bit more throughout the movie, because he just felt a little bit more imposing towards the end.
Right. Liz, what about you? What'd you think of the movie?
Like I said, I really enjoyed watching something that felt inconsequential.
No sequels, nothing.
No, I don't need anything.
No post-credit sequence. I really enjoyed that.
The guy that plays Mark, he is in the trailers. I looked up his name, Brandon Scott Jones. He's also in one of my favorite TV shows right now. Ghosts, yeah.
Yeah.
So I love seeing him.
I know
and
Ghosts. I like Ghosts. They're good.
Different Ghosts.
Different Ghosts.
Damn.
So it was really enjoyable to see like a character I knew, like other than Nicholas Hoult, Awkwafina, and Nick Cage. Yeah, I think going into it, I was like, I don't get it. I don't understand why we're doing this. And you know what? I didn't need to. That was it. I felt good about watching it. It was silly. It was a nice Thursday afternoon. We came home, we ate dinner, played some video games. That was a fun night. It was just a good night out of the movies.
It's probably I wouldn't call it a good date movie, but if you're in a relationship with somebody, and
a narcissist.
If you're in a relationship with a narcissist, take them to this. It'll knock out an hour and a half of your evening. You'll get a few laughs.
And I
went with Alexis. She loved all the jokes about ska. That really tickled her fancy.
Too, yeah.
She loved it.
I will say, we watched the night before, we watched Chris Stuckman's review, and he goes, it says some gore.
It is a lot of gore.
A lot of gore.
I don't think we could prep you. I don't even think that's a spoiler. I don't think we could prep anybody for the amount
how
of
much
violence.
gore is actually in it.
I will say, I really thought the special effects looked pretty bad and cheesy.
Were, yeah.
I feel like that was the point, though.
I feel like, I also do feel like
where's
that
that
was
budget?
the point.
Where's your $65 million budget going?
Nicolas
Is all of
Cage.
it going to Nick Cage?
Nick Cage. And shooting in New Orleans on locations probably
Were they on
expensive as
location
fuck.
for the
Oh,
whole thing?
yeah, absolutely.
It didn't feel like, it felt like so polished Hollywood version of New Orleans.
Nah, dude, that I have to disagree with you there. That looks straight up like New Orleans.
You keep talking, I'll look it
all
up.
right. So I think we could just go ahead and finish non-spoiler here and then get into some spoilers because there's some stuff I want to talk about. So, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna rate this an 8 out of 10. I thought that for
New
what
Orleans.
this was, what'd you say?
It was in New Orleans.
Yeah, I thought that for what this was and what my expectations were going in, that this hit all of the marks. I expected something that was inconsequential, very silly, out of this world type of vibe, but also had the themes that they played with were really nice. The performances were great. The chemistry between the cast. I'm not really one for the story, obviously. I mean, I feel like the story is the weakest part, but ultimately, I still had a good time at the movies. I was not hating this. I have seen worse shit, and I'm a little upset that this isn't going to make the box office haul that I think that it should, because you're going to see
Or at
less
least
of
make
this
its
now.
money back.
Yeah, because you're going to see less of this now, and I'm glad that something like this made it to theaters, because truthfully, this is something that would normally go straight to streaming nowadays. You know, so
It
I'd give
used
it.
to be you go to the DVD bin, but now it's straight to stream.
Yeah, so I'd give this an 8 out of 10. Yeah.
I'd give it a 7.
Okay.
Liz, you want to give it a rating?
I'll go 8. Yeah,
Yeah?
I agree with you. 8 sounds good.
Okay. So
Um,
before we get into spoilers,
I just want to say one thing before.
Okay.
Alexis put it well. That this was like a very campy movie, and this is what Cocaine Bear should have been.
yes,
Like, it doesn't take itself seriously. It's super over the top, but it at least had some driving purpose rather than just meandering.
it was
and
also brief.
brief.
It didn't
Yeah.
overstay
It
its
got
welcome.
in and it got out.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you think, I'll pose a question real quick before we get into spoilers. Do you think this would be doing better if this came out like September, October, like the fall?
I would
Like
I
get in on
prob-
the spooky season.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I would agree with that. I
Yeah.
think
Yeah.
it would.
People would be in the mood for a spooky movie.
So before we get into spoilers, there was a trailer for a movie that played
Yes.
before this.
Yes.
I knew that when you saw it, I was like, I want to see this more than I want to see the current movie.
Dude,
The what's it called?
Last Voyage of the Demeter.
Yeah, which I was one of those things where I did not know I wanted a movie for that section of Dracula's lore.
Yeah.
Until I saw that trailer, because I was like, wait a minute, Dracula on a boat. I was like, oh, is this the story of the and I googled real quick like what the boat was and everything. I was like, oh shit,
It's
they're
like a chapter right in the middle.
Yeah,
of
it's literally
Dracula.
like this is literally the like him, feasting on the crew as
Yeah.
their voyage goes across.
Somebody put it in on Reddit. Somebody described it as aliens on a boat, but instead of an alien, it's Dracula.
That's actually I'm there for that.
Yeah.
That's cool. I like that.
And also the fact that their like Dark Universe failed, Universal's Dark Universe, and they're now going in this direction. This makes so much more sense than trying to do Universal monsters, but big Hollywood, like big, huge
Is it a
action
Universal
blockbusters.
film?
I think it is.
I'm looking right now.
I could be wrong, but don't they hold the rights to all the classic monsters?
Well, it's one of those things where it's like they hold the rights to that version. It's like
Gotcha.
I'm not necessarily sure that they hold the rights to like Dracula in general.
Well, to anybody,
Oh, this is Universal Pictures. Okay, yeah.
I'm hoping that this. I don't give a fuck about Renfield. I hope this does well.
Yeah.
Because if Universal leans into their classic vault of horror monsters and does this treatment, I think this could be like huge.
Yeah, I agree. So, all right, so let's talk some spoilers. Number one, I fucking loved when they remade the scenes from like the 1923
opening.
Dracula film with Nicholas Hoult and Nicolas Cage.
Nick Cage looks so much like who played? Was it Christopher Lee that I'm thinking of?
No, in the 1930
Well, yeah.
version. No, it's Bela Lugosi.
That's yeah, I suppose so. Yeah.
I thought that was awesome. I loved the scene where what is it? It's his gifted or what is it? His servant
His
or
familiar.
his familiar. That's what it is. I loved that part of it. I was like, damn, that's so good. And I loved how I loved the sequence in the beginning where the Pope makes the holy circle around him or whatever, and he just slides the slipper under. I was like, that's a really good interpretation of an abusive relationship. I also thought it was really funny when it was just like his teeth and his eyes after that. He was just like, no.
Yeah, he was all burnt out.
Yeah.
I loved in the 1920s film where he had like the eye light.
Yeah.
It looked so badass.
So that goes into the future where they're talking about how like how Dracula can't get to full power because there are no more innocent people in the world, and how he's drinking all this shit. He's like, I need a bus full of cheerleaders or like a gaggle of nuns or whatever. Like, so yeah, I liked all of those ideas. It was just when it came to the crime syndicate family part of the movie,
and
that
it was
fell
weird
flat.
The Dracula's plan is to take over the world. What are your steps to take over the world?
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
just like
What the-
such a shoestring plot.
I felt like it kind of came out of nowhere. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Where I feel like it should have built upon just like getting back to full power first, which that was another really funny line. Like, he won't go to full power. He won't go to full power. That's so weird that you said it like that.
But it's good.
Yeah.
Brandon Scott Jones is like comedic timing.
BSJ?
BSJ. He's great. I'm sorry. He's wonderful. I love him.
I do love when I also love how they adhere to vampire lore.
Yep.
When Nicholas Hoult opens his apartment door and Dracula's just sitting in the fucking, welcome, come on in. Like, I did love that with the welcome mat. And then that conversation about turning, a little bit about me, about turning somebody's like trauma on them to try and abuse them further. I was like, damn, that really is what it's like.
This resonates with
me. It
me.
really did. Like, because I'd be love doing that now. But
I'm a regular
I'm fine.
Jonathan Majors.
Everything is okay. This is a bit.
But no, man, I saw it and I really resonated that with that material. That being said, all these niceties that I have to say, I think the action sequences, dude, the first action sequence was crazy with like it was like, who are you? I'm a friend of Rachel's. He's like, you're not a hitman, sent to, and then that guy shows up and he's
fucking Bane,
the most wild hitman I've seen in my life.
That felt like it was out of John Wick.
Yeah, that was a straight up a horror film with like the patchwork, like, I don't know, potato sack.
What was his name? Apache Joe? Yes, you think I'm going to tell him his name is inappropriate? He carries around knives.
He looked like this guy. He looked like Triangle
He did
Head
kinda
from
look like that.
fucking Silent Hill.
Oh,
But that guy mixed with Bane.
About this guy.
I don't like that guy.
I'm just seeing your Broadway.
Oh, cool. Okay, so that means it's Frozen. Awesome.
We're going to have to cut before clip of the week.
Yeah.
I thought that the action sequences in the beginning were really well staged. Like the one where he slices the guy's arms off and shit. The ones towards the end where everybody's got guns and like, I thought they were like, everything was extreme zoom and there wasn't a great sense of what was going on. Very choppy. But that being said, when they show up to the crime syndicate house and just walk in the door and they now all have the vampire powers, that was straight out of the Matrix Reloaded, where they have the chateau fight.
Oh, yes,
with like all the vampires and werewolves and ghosts and shit. They're jumping over the railings of the balcony. It was like, this is the Matrix.
I do love the scene where he chops off some guy's arms and uses them as fucking spears.
Yeah.
Because remember, he's like, I need a bug. And
the kid.
He throws, and then she pulls the arm out of some guy and uses it to hit another one. And Aquafina says after that, like, you know how someone sees something bloody and they be like, oh, don't worry, I've seen way worse. This is my way worse.
Yep.
I thought that was very funny
great.
too. Yeah, but all these niceties I have to say, there are some scenes that are written in this movie like absolute dog shit.
Yeah.
And I think you know which ones I'm going to bring up. The first one is between the two sisters.
Dude, yes,
Yeah,
absolutely.
That was
was the worst
straight up
scene.
like,
I want to avenge Dad's death too, but I also have to keep my. It's like exposition
there
dump.
was 1,000 better ways you could have written that scene, and zero of the lines stuck. I just remember thinking, man, this writing's awful. Because then there's other expertly written scenes, like the scene with them in the apartment, between Renfield and Dracula, where like it's not on the nose, but it's getting the message across subtly. I'm trying to think of what was the other really bad one. Oh, the other one where the mom introduces herself and she tries to like, do you know what I have built an empire and I have this. It's like he would know that though. You know what I mean?
Exactly. It's clearly not for him. It's for us.
exactly.
But it's like just just write it into the dialogue.
Exactly.
Don't spoon feed it to us.
Yeah.
Pepper it in there.
Exactly.
Like they could have had like the cops be like, "Oh, the Lobos, this extensive crime family, blah blah blah."
Have the rookie cop like, "Oh, who's that? Oh, you don't know. They run this town."
Up, Kyle.
Yeah, shut the fuck up,
Oh,
Kyle.
I loved Kyle. Kyle was the best.
Really?
I mean, Kyle was a bit part. It was nice, it was fun.
I can't believe that the major crime family in this vampire movie was named the Lobos, and they weren't werewolves.
Yes.
How did that not happen?
Yeah, that's true.
I feel like it's a missed opportunity as well.
You did see the wolves everywhere, but that is a very good
That
point.
felt-
If we're gonna have Dracula, why aren't we having vampires?
And I'm not saying that it should have happened, but just call them something else. If like it to me, I was like, I kept waiting for the reveal that remember the first scene with the mother and there's something going on behind a curtain and she says like, we have a reputation for being brutal and gruesome, and it's like they're gonna do a werewolf transformation behind this curtain that's backlit.
Yeah.
And she, she's gonna come out and this is why, and it's like you need to embrace your inner werewolf, and
no,
that
it turns
just
out
never
never went anywhere.
That
Brutal
was a really interesting scene, just in the fact that like this movie was gruesome. The blood, that was terrible. Like it all looked bad, but this,
yeah,
but
it
like
looked really bad.
but I feel like
like
it was played that purposefully.
But like in this scene, the idea is that they're torturing someone behind this sheet. Like you see all the instruments. Like, is it because like we're protecting the head from like, the top of the chain from like the bottom of whoever's doing this, or what? Like we're just not supposed to be exposed to it. I thought that was kind of weird.
It's a budget, probably.
Yeah,
Or we
definitely a
can't-
budgetary issue.
Couldn't have one more dead body.
Because
Got it.
$65 million doesn't go that far these days.
They did there. I think there was like a good amount of marketing behind this too. I was seeing ads for this everywhere.
Yeah, I've seen trailers for this nonstop too. I'm trying to think of the okay, so they get to the what's it called? See, the movie's very brief, so you can kind of move through this quick. They get to the final level, we'll call it that, the final boss battle. And I feel like the mother kind of becomes inconsequential all of a sudden. And then the focus goes back to Dracula, which should have been the focus the entire time. I feel like everything else was just filler. What did you think about?
I don't know what that noise is.
I don't know what that was either.
Too.
What did you think about the way that they dealt with Dracula at the end?
It was fine.
Yeah.
It's whatever.
I loved how, like, even after they did all that crazy shit to him, they were just like, to be honest, I don't even think this will actually kill him.
Yeah.
Because they didn't do any of the holy stuff. There's no holy water, no stake to the heart. Like,
not disembodied, but chopped him up and turned him into cement popsicles.
Yeah.
Yeah, dismembered. Thank you.
That's right. They turned him into popsicles, cement popsicles.
I thought the pacing was pretty uneven. Like
at some points, yeah.
The beginning was great. Once we get to the middle, it was very kind of bumpy as to like, what is the point? What are we doing here? There's slow moments. There's, there's
also those plot points with like the corrupt cops being in with the crime and that
on the wall. It was like, don't solve the crime until you're on overtime in the background. Like,
and it's like that also goes nowhere.
Yeah.
Like
that also just seemed like a lot of corrupt cops. Like
the entire department except for Awkwafina.
Yeah, that they pulled up and there's like 18 Escalades with the Lobo family and then 14 cop cars. I'm like, how is nobody else noticing this?
I like how everybody came down the street to surround Awkwafina, but nobody blocked the street. They were just parked on the sidewalk, so Awkwafina could drive away.
I loved God, what was the joke? Oh, when he shows up to meet her for like a deposition or whatever, and he brings flowers, and he goes, "Do you normally bring flowers for a questioning?" Or he just goes like, well, not just for her, that they're for everybody, and he like tries to hand them out to people. Like I thought those moments were good. It was just like the story that surrounded everything just didn't tie together.
There weren't enough of those moments for me.
Mm-hmm.
It like this was billed as a comedy, right?
Like, absolutely.
I
can't believe they didn't bill it like an action comedy because the action is fucking unreal.
Maybe that's what they should have done. Because to me, I was expecting it to be more funny throughout, and there was some. I chuckled here and there, but overall, it wasn't a over-the-top funny movie.
Yeah.
There was funny situations, that happened?
Yeah, it wasn't like it wasn't like
Gut buster.
the last movie. I think I really like absolutely like cracked up through the entire time was This Is the End.
Really?
Yeah,
That far back?
I think that's the last one I was really like had
What about
tears coming
Jackass
down.
4?
That's like literally.
Oh,
a
that might have
decade
been
ago.
too. That might, yeah, actually, that might have been the last one I really. But even before that, I can't even think what the last.
We'll go back through
comedy
our
I saw
after
is.
this episode. We'll go back through our discography.
Yeah, yeah. But even then, I mean, like, still, it was just nice to see like something that was light and like I didn't have to watch anything before, and I didn't have to see this to see something that's coming out, and like there's no post credit scene. It had a good cast. It for the parts that were written really well, they were fun. Then when the action and the gore happened, they didn't hold back, or it wasn't like cheapened at all. You know what I mean? And it's just a shame that the story couldn't really pull it all together. You know what I mean?
Come on, Ryan Ridley.
I blame it more on Chris McKay, but he's a good director though. You know, I figured he would.
What was Chris McKay's role in this?
He was a director.
Yeah, well, I think for me it's more of like the story wasn't structured well enough to begin with.
Chris McKay did the Tomorrow War. Nick, you like that movie?
What else did he do?
The Lego Batman movie, he was an editor on.
I like Ryan Ridley. I'm gonna blame this on him. I've never seen Tomorrow War. You watched that with Mike?
Have.
Didn't see that one.
That was Chris Pratt in the future.
I wasn't here that episode.
Nope, you watched that by yourself on our couch.
I think I fell asleep in the beginning of it too.
You and Mike reviewed that one. I was not here.
That was another one of those movies that I felt like had a lot of potential and like it's very much like this
fucking
movie.
Chris Pratt and J.K. Simmons, like
Yeah, exactly.
damn.
So yeah, I mean,
Did that movie make money?
It was an Amazon streaming movie,
So no.
But overall, I mean, listen, I think that I think that for what this is it's good. I would call it good.
He's good.
Yes, he's good. I think the action is absolutely incredible in points, even though the VFX looks kind of womp.
They were really bad.
Yeah,
But like,
there's some
I
bad
think
ones.
some of that was on purpose.
I'll remember this more than I remember Dungeons and Dragons.
Yes. I feel like Dungeons and Dragons will now be like my point of like, if I don't like something, where does it compete against Dungeons and Dragons of me really not liking it?
Yeah.
And this is nowhere near that. I had such a good time. I don't know. I just told somebody, I was like, it's Nick Cage. It's just silly. Like, what more do you need?
Yeah, it really is. That's really what it was. I was like, I'm going in for some sillies. And I got some sillies.
I can't wait to see the update. You remember that video we used to watch a lot in college where it was like all of Nick Cage's meltdowns in movies?
1, 2, that's a vampire movie too, though.
Yeah.
So is his meltdown going to be when he finds out that Renfield saved a whole bunch of people?
I don't know if there's a really big outburst. There's one where, but I mean, like, I just can't wait to see the updated version with this movie and the I'm Pedro Pascal movie.
Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent.
Yeah, I want to see the updated version of this compilation.
Oh, okay, I see.
Yeah.
Was there any big moment? I can't remember if
there was one point where he had like the
okay.
Reverb and delay.
I thought he turned into like a big monster at some point. You know how like Dracula or like newer versions of Dracula, it's like here he is in a cape and then like here he is with like a big winged creature and shit. You know what I mean?
Man bat.
Like, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I figured like maybe we'd get one of those, but to my surprise,
the last Voyage of the Demeter, the vampire looks fucking crazy.
He looks like a bat.
Yeah.
It looks like a bat.
What did you guys think of the almost love story between Awkwafina and
weird and
Nicholas
unnecessary?
Yeah.
That was another one of those things that went nowhere, but ultimately it was inconsequential anyway because she was never interested in him. Because the other thing that they never talk about and that the sister brings up is that he is, quote, one of the most prolific serial killers of our time.
See, like, if they had kept going with, like, he's kind of got, like, this puppy dog love for her because, like, he wants to be a better version of himself. And
yeah, but there is no good ending for him.
Yes, of course. Of course. But, like, if they had kind of kept up that, like, he loves her because, it's like, she's the good in the world when really she's just a woman out for revenge, essentially, most of the movie. Like that would have been good, but man, they like cut it real quick, like 2/3. Not
Yeah.
even 2/3 in the movie, probably
It's
like
like
halfway.
why even set that up?
It was weird.
It was fun when she got to like the like cascade down from the balconies in the apartment building onto the dead bodies, and there was like the quick like handhold. That was fun. That was cute. I wish they would have kept up with more stuff like that after like mass carnage. But
There was that slow motion moment where like he's like flying through the balconies and he's just like waving in slow motion.
Yeah.
She's like,
But yeah, overall, this is fine. If
it's worth the $10
yeah,
you'll
exactly,
spend on a ticket.
and it's 90 minutes. Like I'm pretty sure 90 minutes flat. I think 133 with credits. I think overall, but even then, like it's a feature.
honestly, go to a matinee showing.
Yeah.
Go in the middle of the day on a Saturday or Sunday. Treat yourself to a nice bucket of popcorn and have a nice time.
Yeah, pretty much. All right.
One other random thought, not related to the movie. I, on a whim, we watched Triangle of Sadness on streaming. It's a movie, and it's fucking weird and cool.
Wasn't
and
it up for a bunch of Oscars?
I don't know.
Yeah, I think it was.
I hadn't even heard of it, but definitely worth a watch. It was great.
Triangle of Sadness.
Who was in it?
The only person that you would know in the cast, I think, is Woody Harrelson.
Yeah, it was up for Best Picture, Best Original
Was it
Screenplay,
really?
and Best Director.
I didn't even hear anything about this until this weekend.
Well, that's kind of my point about the Oscars.
Yeah. It was good. It was worth a watch.
All right, cool. Check it out.
You guys should watch it.
All right.
Oh yeah, it's the clip of the week. Oh, it's the clip of the week. It's the clip of the week.
This is not the clip of the week.
It's the dirtiest carpet he's ever washed, Nick. All right. Oh, you know me. I love a good traffic stop. Whoa, what the fuck? Is that a cow?
That's a cow.
Why is this cop driving in the other lane?
He's
Trying
not
to wrangle
obeying the
the cow.
rules of traffic at all.
Now there's this
He
cow.
works for the Lobos.
A cow just straight up tackled a man.
Innocent bystander, man.
This is the mod on GTA that I really want.
Yes.
Cow simulator.
What the hell did he do to deserve
My
that?
question is, what is this vagrant doing? Look at this dashboard. What the fuck is going on here? You see all this junk here?
This is definitely a work truck.
Yeah, I was gonna say this is probably like a commercial truck.
When I used to work for the Board of Ed maintenance department, this is what the trucks looked like.
I love that though. I love how this guy's just minding his own business. And
Dude, he just sees a cop car coming up the street, and out of nowhere from his side, a cow attacks.
damn, dude, talk about I didn't even know cows
He got
could
some
get
height.
air like
yeah.
that. I think
Also, like, think about how much that cow weighs.
I don't know.
Yeah, how much do you think a cow weighs?
I mean, that looked like a
600, 700
that
pounds?
looked
Is
like
that
that didn't look like a full-grown cow.
Yeah, that looks like it's...
A
You
teenager.
said 600 pounds?
I'm just
For a
guessing.
female adult cow, 1,600.
Oh my!
For
Yeah,
a
so-
male,
but that cow-
2,400.
That cow
And that's
is
with force
probably-
behind it.
I'm
that-
gonna guess. Yeah, this is on the lower end of the scale.
That's
Yeah.
a tiny cow.
I also think that this is a female cow.
That's a baby bell.
Yeah, it's a sow. Well, no, a cow is female. Bull is the
I said a
male.
baby bell, like the cheese,
That's not cheese.
like the cheese with the cow on it.
Oh,
Baby
okay.
bell cheese. You're ruining my joke.
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying.
That's not cheese.
I love how worried he is.
Look
He's
up
like,
the
"What
weight of an
fuck?"
adolescent female cow.
All right.
I just like how he tried to like throw his arm up to block this impending bovine.
Well, I mean, that's what you would do too if a
Well,
cow
I
flew
just
at you.
add-
Oh my God! There's the
Okay,
innocent
so an
bystander
adolescent
joke.
cow, right, weighs say around 1,000 to 1,100
Okay,
pounds.
that sounds about right.
These calves will then put on about 50 to 60 pounds of weight per month.
Damn.
They gain weight by drinking their mom's milk for the first 6 months
White
of their
milk or
life
brown
until they're weaned. I mean, the strong ones get the brown milk.
Woody Insurance.
He's gonna need insurance.
Should have had Woody Insurance before he
Damn.
got.
Was there any
tackled by-
follow up to this?
No. Well, I mean, there might have been, but just go back to like 15 seconds. Oh no, that's not.
Yeah,
What does that sign say? Does it really say Woody Insurance?
I think so.
There's 3 O's. Woody Insurance.
Woody
Woody
insurance.
Insurance.
What is this guy wearing? A fucking ghillie suit? Like, what's going on?
He's wearing a.
I see you. I see you,
It's a
man.
North Face. It's
He's
a
just
North
walking
Face.
down the street. Wait,
And
can you go back? Is there like
There's
a
like
brick?
yeah. There's like a planter box.
Yeah.
Oh, I know that man's hurt. The
Ooh.
next
Oh,
Did that sound come out of him?
no,
the shriek in fear.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's him.
Wait.
no. There's
Here,
got
listen,
to be
listen,
somebody
listen,
else.
Listen.
That's it. It was exactly when he hit that
I'm
cement
telling you, I think
block.
it's him. Yeah,
I'm sorry, I can't get over how hysterical this is.
dude, that cop's probably cracking up so hard. That goes like, what the fuck?
He's got
The fuck
adrenaline
just
going
happened?
right now, but he's gonna be fucked up later.
Yeah.
That was perfect. Oh, that was great.
I thought that was kind of like a fun one.
Kind of like Renfield.
that
you know?
was the
It's just,
Renfield
you know,
flip of the week.
Yeah.
didn't overstay its welcome. It wasn't too kind. There's nothing that coming after it.
Yeah.
or
We
before
saw the
it.
guy who got hit by the cow get back up. We know he's fine.
He got knocked down, but he got up again.
All right. Well, with that said, thanks so much everyone for tuning into this episode of Press Any Key. And we're off next week, so we will see you in 2 weeks for something. I don't know. Actually, no, wait. I'm wrong
Guardians?
about that.
They'll find out.
Yeah, I'll figure it
You'll
out.
see us when we're
Yeah,
back.
we'll see us when we're back. Okay, bye bye.